Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Arvada City Council meeting for today, May 5th. Happy Cinco de Mayo, everybody. For today, May 5th, 2026, I will call upon Mayor Pro Tem Moorman for the moment of reflection.
Please join me in a moment of silent reflection. And now I'd like to call up Leanne to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you so much, Leanne. That was beautiful. Thank you for signing that for us. Ms. Rush, if you'll do the roll call.
Mayor Simpson.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Moorman.
Here.
Councilmember Ambrose.
Here.
Councilmember Davis.
Here.
Councilmember Pfeiffer.
Here.
Councilmember Griffith. Councilmember Levison.
Here. Councilmember Pfeiffer.
I'll move to excuse Councilmember Griffith from tonight's meeting.
All votes are cast. That passes 6-0. Councilmember Griffith is an excused absence. We have no meeting minutes to approve this evening, so I'm going to move us right into proclamations, and oh boy, do we have a bunch. So first, we're going to give it over to Councilmember Ambrose, and everybody just give her a little bit of extra patience. She's getting over some laryngitis.
Yeah, thank you. I'm still here. Okay. Yes, I am honored to make this proclamation, and I'd like to have Lisa Jansen Thompson, who's the Executive Director of the Early Childhood Partnership of Adams County, come on down, and also Julia Brink, the Director of Workforce Development for Triad Early Childhood Council.
Hi, Lisa was unable to make it today, but I'm Alicia Mullins. I'm the Director of Early Learning for ECPAC Early Childhood Partnership of Adams County, and luckily she walked in just in time.
Oh, great.
Because Julia's also not able to be here tonight.
I'm Melinda Kurgan with Triad Early Childhood Council and Child Care Innovations.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. Do you have any comments?
I have...
Quickly, maybe we read the proclamation and then we do comments.
Perfect. That sounds great.
Okay, if you wanna mix it up, go ahead. All right, we'll do comments first then.
Okay. Do you have anything to...
The only thing I had to add was thank you on behalf of Child Care Innovations and the Triad Early Childhood Council, and we are very excited and thrilled to partnership with Arvada and work for Jefferson County.
Awesome. Yeah. Lisa wrote something up. It is for Adams County, which Arvada has parts of. So I'll just read what she put. Good evening, council members. On behalf of the Early Childhood Partnership of Adams County, I want to thank you for recognizing May 8th as the Early Care and Education Provider Appreciation Day. Early care and education professionals work in various settings, including licensed family child care homes and public and private centers, providing an essential service to families so they can work or go to school. In addition to the child care needs for families, we know that the children who attend early childhood programs are engaged in activities and building strong relationships with other children and adults that will build the foundation of their future success and ability to be contributing members of our society. Finally, the business in our community, all the businesses rely on working parents. Therefore, all of us rely on child care being available and affordable. Unfortunately, as a nation, state, country, and city, the availability of affordable child care is considered to be in a crisis state. Sadly, this crisis is only worsening. In 2025, almost twice as many child care programs closed than in 2024 or in 2023, with burnout and economic pressures cited as the top reasons. Adams County is one of the 2 counties with the highest closure rates last year. As a result of this and other factors, our capacity to ensure Adams County infants in licensed childcare decreased 8.5% with a loss of 50 available slots. Toddlers decreased 18.6% with a loss of 55 slots, and even with universal preschool, we can only provide preschool for 71% of 3 to 4-year-olds in Adams County. A loss of 132 slots last year. These are the lowest capacity numbers in the entire metro area, meaning the families who live here are scrambling to figure out childcare, going out of the county for care, and sometimes making hard decisions about returning to work. What may be contributing to this lack of capacity is that over the past 5 years, other industries such as fast food and retail have increased wages by 5 to 9%, while early care and education provider wages have increased by only 3%. And these provider wages are in the bottom 5% of all occupations. Additionally, many do not have access to benefits. However, these providers come to work with love and passion for the work they do. Despite the challenges noted here, they recognize the importance of their job in the development of children and the economic stability of families and the community. They provide safe, nurturing, and educational-rich environments for our youngest citizens, and because of that, we want to recognize and appreciate them, not just on May 8th, but on every day.
Thank you. Thank you. And in honor of your work and in recognizing this really important issue, I know our chamber in Arvada has done a lot of work to try and address this workforce issue. So recognizing them, but you two especially, I'm honored to give this proclamation. Whereas the Early Childhood Partnership of Adams County and the Triad Early Childhood Council and other organizations nationwide are recognizing early care and education providers on this day. And whereas the early care and education system supports children's growth, development, and educational advancement while creating positive economic impacts for families and communities. And whereas early care and education providers are essential to the health of our communities by fostering safe and welcoming spaces, supporting working families, and creating enriching environments where children develop lifelong skills. And whereas early care and education providers work in various settings, including centers, family child care homes, and preschools, offering families a choice in the type of care that works best for them and their child. And the City of Arvada recognizes that child care has been and continues to be a lifeline for families, communities, and the economy that is often under-resourced and undervalued. And whereas support for affordable, accessible, high-quality early care and education represents a worthy commitment to help families work, support children's healthy development and learning, and keep our economy growing. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed by the Mayor and the Arvada City Council that May 8th, 2026 be designated as Provider Appreciation Day in Arvada, and urge all citizens to recognize early care and education providers for their important work and how valuable they are to our communities.
Thank you.
Do you want to come this way for a quick photo?
Yes, is there anyone else here from the
like to join us? Perfect. Yeah, if you are a child care provider for early child care, come on up and join the photo. I know it's unlikely, but you never know. Thank you very much. Councilmember Davis, you have the proclamation of Poppy Month.
Thank you. I am very honored to read this proclamation. Please stand up. My father was a veteran. He's since passed, but he served in Korea and Vietnam, and my mother was the wife of a veteran. So I'm very, very honored to do this. Whereas the sacrifices of those who have lost their lives, their health, or their livelihood as a result of their military service are rightly the concern of all citizens, and whereas the annual sale of poppies by the American Legion Auxiliary Unit 161 offers an opportunity for the people of this community to express their solicitude for those unfortunate persons who have paid more than their share of the cost of freedom. And whereas the proceeds of this worthy fundraising campaign are used exclusively for the benefit of disabled and needy veterans and the widows and orphans of deceased veterans in the desire to honor the dead by helping the living. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed by the Mayor and City Council of the City of Arvada, Colorado, that the month of May 2026 be designated Poppy Month in Arvada. The Arvada City Council encourages all Arvada residents to participate in Poppy Month and to wear a poppy as a mute evidence of our gratitude to the men and women of this country who have risked or lost their lives in fulfilling their obligations as American citizens. The Arvada City Council recognizes the merits of the American Legion Auxiliary Unit 161, dated this 5th day of May 2026.
Thank you.
Would you like to say something?
Yes. I have to ask Sharon, are you a member of our auxiliary?
I am a member of the auxiliary that is in Delmont, Pennsylvania. My mother has paid those dues until
Well, you know,
I
you're
pass away.
welcome to come down and you visit our post anytime. If you're a
thank you.
member at any American Legion, you can visit any American Legion in the country. All you have to do is show your ID, show your card that you have, and you can get in anywhere. So,
Well, thank you. I will take advantage of that invitation.
thank you. Now I'm going to read In Flounders Field by John McCrae. In Flounders Field, the poppy blow between the crosses, row on row, that mark our place, and in the sky, the larks still bravely singing fly, scarce heard amid the guns below. We are the dead. Short days ago, we lived, felt dawn, saw sunset glow, loved and were loved, and now we lie in Flounders Field. Take up our quarrel with the foe, to you from failing hands we throw. The torch be yours to hold it high, if ye break faith with us who die. We shall not sleep, though poppies grow in Flounders Field. And then the other one I have is My Poppy is Red. The poppy to remember those heroes gone before. Red is for the blood men and women shed. In a foreign land, their lifeblood given for another as they took their stand. Black for death that comes and takes the breath of a hero away, as they fight for freedom, fight for peace, fight to live another day. And evergreen to symbolize the memory who will stay, the sacrifice will not be forgotten on this Remembrance Day, which happens, I think, to be May 25th. You wear a poppy to remember those heroes who fought and died. Red, black, and green together, wear your poppy with pride. And when I went to our convention last year, the poppy chairperson, everybody she found, she slapped a poppy on us. So I don't have to buy one or anything. It's on my name tag, so I will always remember the poppies. Thank you.
If you'd like to come up, we'll give the proclamation, and we'll do a quick photo. All right. Leanne, come on up for the photo. You get bigger every year, girl. I remember when you were tiny. Thank you very much. Proclamation for Mental Health Month, Councilmember Pfeiffer.
Did Olivia make it by any chance? No? Okay, she was stuck. Weather. This is near and dear as my oldest son does dedicated his profession into mental health, so I appreciate I got to do this one this time. So the proclamation is, whereas good mental health is essential to the overall health and emotional well-being of all children, youth, adults, and families, and promote a healthy community, and whereas nearly 1 in 4 people in our community experience a mental health condition each year, and more than 17% of individuals in our community experience substance use disorder each year, including alcohol and drug use, and whereas the lack of awareness of where to seek support and stigma against mental health conditions and substance use disorder prevents many people from accessing care, and when mental health problems and substance use disorders are detected early and treated, people can recover and maintain a healthy and independent life. And whereas increased focus in the prevention of mental health conditions and substance use disorder among children, adolescents, and adults through screening and early intervention helps reduce suffering and improves lives. And whereas it is imperative that all members of our community, irrespective of age, gender expression, sexual identification, race, culture, ethnic background, education, or economic status, have equitable access to essential care, support, and services for mental health and substance use condition. And whereas the City of Arvada is dedicated to improving the health and well-being of its citizens and employees by increasing awareness, ending stigma, and focus on the integral role of mental health in our lives. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed by the Mayor and City Council, here designates the month of May 2026 as Mental Health Month, and call upon all citizens, government agencies, public and private institutions, businesses, and schools to recommit our communities and resources to increase awareness and understanding of mental health, providing appropriate and accessible services for all citizens, and making mental health a priority. It is dated the 5th of May, 2026, signed by the mayor and all of council. So we'll get this to them when we see them next.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you.
Councilmember Levison, you had the proclamation for Economic Development Week.
Thank you so much. I'd like to invite up the members of the AIDA board who will be accepting this proclamation. Thank you for all you do in our community, and your choice if you want to go Councilmember Ambrose style and say something first or whatever you'd like.
Sarah, Nancy, do you want to take the mic?
Sure, either way.
You're okay.
So unfortunately, our board members were not able to join us this evening, but on behalf of the AIDA Board of Directors, I'd like to thank you for the recognition.
I think one just walked in, Ms. Chair.
Yes. Oh, yes. Okay, great. Thank you for joining us. So I just really appreciate and you'll hear about the contributions that economic development makes in the community. It's very important work. We don't do the work alone. We work with a broad range of partners, including our board of directors, the City of Arvada, the Greater Arvada Chamber of Commerce, the Arvada Urban Renewal Authority, and the Arvada Visitors Center to really, and most importantly, our business community, to create an environment that makes Arvada an attractive place to do business and foster innovation and job creation as well.
Thank you so much. Whereas Economic Development Week was created by the International Economic Development Council in 2016 to increase awareness of local programs and services that create jobs, advance career development opportunities, and increase quality of life among our communities. And whereas economic development is critical to our community's well-being, with sales and use tax making significant contributions towards City of Arvada services and operations. And whereas in 2025, the Arvada Economic Development Association helped welcome 126 net new businesses to Arvada and awarded more than $200,000 in grant funding for business improvements and conducted over 150 business retention visits. And whereas the City of Arvada, AIDA, and our community partners promote economic well-being and quality of life for its community by creating, retaining, and expanding jobs that facilitate growth, enhance wealth, and provide a stable tax base. And whereas our economic development professionals play a crucial role as connectors and collaborators between business owners and City of Arvada government, helping ensure that businesses can locate, grow, and thrive in our city. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed that the Mayor and the Arvada City Council hereby designate the week of May 4th, from May 4th to May 8th, as Economic Development Week, and encourage all Arvada community members to join us in thanking the economic development teams that are helping create a resilient and thriving Arvada. Dated this 5th day of May and signed by the Mayor and Council.
Come on up for a photo. Thank you for making it out with the kids in the snowstorm. Oh, Kristen. Perfect timing there. All right. Next, we have Mayor Pro Tem Mormon with Building Safety Month.
Thank you, Mayor. I'd like to call up our team from the Building Safety Division and Arvada Fire if they're here. Excellent.
I don't think they were able to make it, but
All right.
we are
Well,
here.
They're a little busy tonight.
We're happy you're here to represent. And I will follow Councilmember Ambrose's new way of doing things and let you speak before I read the proclamation, if you will.
Sounds good. First, thank you for this proclamation recognizing May as Building Safety Month here in the city of Arvada. In the Building Safety Division, we live for this stuff. Literally, this is what we do on a day-to-day basis. This is an opportunity for us to educate about building safety and to let our message of building safety resonate throughout the community with excitement and passion for the entire month of May. Building safety often goes unseen, but it touches every single person in our community every day. It's in the homes we live in, the businesses we rely on, and the spaces where our community gathers. And most importantly, it's what ensures those places are safe, especially when the unexpected happens. This month is about recognizing building safety as an essential service and recognizing the people behind that safety who are dedicated safety superheroes that promote and ensure building safety every day. The inspectors, plans examiners, permit technicians, fire officials, building officials, fire prevention staff, code enforcement officers, and the entire building community, contractors, designers, and trades who work together every day to protect life and property. We thank you for all that you do. This theme, or the theme this year is Built to Last, and that's exactly what we strive for in Arvada. Not just buildings that stand the test of time, but a community that is resilient, safe, and prepared for the future. This year is a monumental year for Arvada, as you know. This year, Arvada has adopted the 2024 suite of building codes, the new low-energy carbon code, and Arvada's very first wildfire resiliency code, which will help us protect the homes and properties in Arvada that face a growing risk of wildland fires. This marks the 18th building code adoption in Arvada's history and a huge milestone of safety for our community. We're proud of the work happening here in Arvada to support safe, sustainable, and practical construction, and we remain committed to working alongside our community to make that process clear, collaborative, and successful. I'd encourage everyone to take a moment this month to recognize the importance of building safety and the people who make it possible, but also to commit to learning, educating, and working together to be proactive in protecting the lives, the livelihoods, and properties here in the city of Arvada. Thanks.
Thank you. Whereas the City of Arvada is committed to building a safe, resilient, and accessible community, and whereas every year May is designated by the International Code Council as Building Safety Month, and whereas this year's theme, Built to Last, encourages us all to raise awareness about building safety and highlights the role of building safety and fire code officials, builders, design professional, tradespeople, and laborers who work year-round to ensure the safe construction of buildings. And whereas our confidence in the resilience of the buildings that make up our community is achieved through the devotion of these vigilant guardians, and we acknowledge the essential service provided to all of us by our Building Safety Division and Fire Protection Districts, who are experts in the built environment and use the highest quality codes to protect us in the buildings where we live, learn, work, and play. And whereas the City of Arvada has adopted new building codes this year that will ensure that our community is following the latest guidance for building materials, sustainable technology, and safeguards to protect our community from hazards such as floods, fires, and wildfires. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed that the Mayor and the Arvada City Council hereby designate the month of May 2026 as Building Safety Month and encourage all Arvada community members to recognize the importance of building safety, to raise awareness of its role in protecting lives and property, and to support the professionals who work every day to ensure our buildings are safe, resilient, and built to last. Dated this 5th day of May 2026.
We all know the drill by now. This is number 5. We've got 3 more to go. It's okay. It's okay, guys. All right, Councilmember Ambrose, you have ALS Awareness Month.
Yes. Thank you very much, Mayor. I would like to invite down Tammy Anderson, who is the Senior Development Manager with the ALS United Rocky Mountains. And also, I'd like to invite 2 Arvada residents, if they were able to make it tonight, Brandy Mila and Becca Ruiz, who also reached out to designate this month as ALS month, but they probably couldn't make it because of the weather. Oh. But yes, if you would like to speak to this proclamation, that'd be great.
Okay, well, thank you so much. I'm Tammy Anderson, as you mentioned, Senior Development Manager with ALS United Rocky Mountain, and we truly appreciate the City of Arvada's meaningful recognition in raising awareness for our ALS community during May ALS Awareness Month. I've personally been affected with this terrible disease, having lost both my father and my sister, and I'm sorry they couldn't make it tonight. ALS is a progressive neurological disease which robs a person of their ability to walk, talk, and eventually breathe. There is no cure and limited treatments. ALS United Rocky Mountain works very hard to provide comprehensive care and support research initiatives for individuals battling ALS and their families. Your support is greatly appreciated. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And in recognition of all your work and the ALS community and everyone who has been affected by it and is in support of it, I'm honored to give this proclamation. Whereas, oh man, I did not get pronunciation. How do you pronounce the ALS?
Amyotrophic lateral sclerosis.
Okay, great, thank you. Whereas amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, also commonly known as Lou Gehrig's disease, is a progressive fatal neurodegenerative disease in which a person's brain loses connection with their muscles, slowly reducing a person's ability to walk, talk, eat, and eventually breathe. And whereas thousands of new amyotrophic lateral sclerosis cases are reported every year, and estimates show that every 90 minutes, someone is diagnosed with ALS, and someone passes away from ALS, and on average, patients diagnosed with ALS survive only 2 to 5 years from the time of diagnosis, and the exact causes of ALS are unknown, and there's no known cure. And whereas people who have served in the military are more likely to develop ALS and die from the disease than those with no history of military service, and securing access to new therapies, durable medical equipment, and communication technologies is of vital importance to people living with ALS. And whereas clinical trials play a pivotal role in evaluating new treatments, enhancing quality of life, and fostering assistive technologies for those living with ALS, and the ALS Association is the largest philanthropic funder of ALS research globally and has committed more than $54 million to support more than 550 projects across the United States and 18 other countries. And whereas the ALS Association is committed to make ALS livable and cure it for everyone, everywhere, and the Amyotrophic Lateral Sclerosis Awareness Month provides an opportunity to increase public awareness of the dire circumstances of people living with ALS, acknowledge the terrible impact this disease has on those individuals and their families, and support research to eradicate this disease. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed that the Mayor and the Arvada City Council hereby designate the month of May 2026 as ALS Awareness Month, and call upon all Arvada citizens to join us in supporting the ALS research and stand in solidarity with those affected by this relentless disease, dated this 5th day of May 2026.
Thank you.
Councilmember Davis, you have the proclamation for Drinking Water Week.
Would my friends from the Drinking Water Group come on down? I'd like those on TV who are watching via YouTube that it is a mighty team that gets your drinking water from the reservoir to the tap. And it looks like Ms. Stahl has some words to say.
I can say them now, or I can say them later.
I think we're doing it up doing something new and exciting, so I would like for you to do it.
So Bethany Cole, the city's project manager for the replacement treatment plant project, prepared this statement. Bethany is not able to be here, so I am presenting her statement, and these are Bethany's words. Thank you, Mayor and members of City Council from our city utility teams who are dedicated to the City of Arvada and to the work of providing clean, safe drinking water, stormwater, and sewer operations. I am Bethany Kolb, an engineer in the Infrastructure Department. I work with operations staff to understand the needs of the city's drinking water system and execute CIP projects to address those needs. I am honored to work at the City of Arvada, a city I and my family have called home at parts of our lives for 4 generations. Author and engineering professor Debbie Chakra calls the infrastructure we rely on and maintain care at scale. When I heard that term, I felt the truth of it, especially for the City of Arvada. We care in Arvada. We care about many things, but we hear regularly how much city residents care about safety and a high quality of life. The infrastructure that surrounds us, the roads, water systems, and parks that we use every day, is a tangible connection that we have with our neighbors, our landscapes, showing that we care about safety and a high quality of life for ourselves and others. For our water systems, there are hundreds of miles of pipe underground that carry clean water to our homes, our neighbors' homes, and carry storm and wastewater away from them. This infrastructure is a promise within our community that we will provide clean, safe water and dispose of storm and wastewater in a way that prevents illness. The local support for infrastructure demonstrates that as much as we do not want our families to experience sickness from waterborne disease, we recognize that we do not want our extended family, friends, neighbors, and communities to suffer either. I recently went to an Arvada Historical Society event, tapping into Arvada's water story, and there the history of care was evident in the stories told. In the late 1800s and early 1900s, water was the responsibility of the individual. However, as waterborne diseases such as cholera and typhoid, as well as mining-related pollution, increased in Ralston Creek, the roughly 800 residents of Arvada came together to fund the installation of the Arvada Water Tower, completed in 1910. Now this tower is a landmark that visibly shows the community that we care, exemplified by lighting the tower for holiday celebrations. But the history of the tower is rooted in community-wide care and connection. 116 years, 3 watered plants, and hundreds of miles of pipe later, that care is shown in the staff who support our water systems. We who work on the water systems recognize the importance of our work to protect the health of those who call Arvada home and those who visit the amenities the city maintains. Starting with our water resources staff who ensure we have safe and adequate supplies of raw water. Our water treatment, water quality, and SCADA EMT staff who work 24/7 every day of every year to ensure all the raw water treated at our 2 water treatment plants meet and exceed all regulatory requirements, as well as working to produce good tasting water for our residents, businesses, and visitors. Our water system operators who maintain our water distribution network, ensuring the treated water makes it safely to customers' taps and that we have sufficient water volume and pressure to meet demand, including fire protection. We would not have safe drinking water without protecting our stormwater and wastewater systems. Our wastewater system operations staff work to make sure those flows move through the City of Arvada without spills or contamination. Our utilities engineering and inspections team work diligently to help the city manage aging infrastructure, overcome challenges in our system, and meet regulatory requirements, ensuring a drinking water system that is resilient for generations to come. Our city management, who work with all our teams to understand the needs our system have and help the city staff plan for the work that is required to operate and maintain our infrastructure. Our city council, who supports the utility systems, operations teams, and the projects we have and are undertaking. Our customers who pay rates that make the operation and maintenance of our water systems possible. At each step of the process, from the mountain streams and reservoirs to the taps in our houses, there is care applied. And now, for the first time in 13 years, the city has had to enact drought restrictions for water use. In a water year that has seen unprecedented low snowpack, high temperatures, and high winds, the raw water systems that provide water to the Denver metro area are at historic lows. In response to this raw water shortfall, the city needs community support to reduce our water use by at least 20%. This decrease helps us preserve the water levels in our reservoirs and helps us avoid imposing increased restrictions in the future. This restriction is another example of the care that water systems represent, both for the city and for the customers. We want to make sure all our customers have enough water now and in the future, and if we work together to reduce our water consumption, we can do that. We thank our City Council for the ongoing support of our Utilities Infrastructure Department. We thank our City Council for supporting the staff who work to operate and support those systems. And we thank our City Council for their support of the projects we complete to provide clean, safe drinking water for multiple generations. Thank you for honoring the week of May 4th as Drinking Water Week.
That was very well said. Brings a tear to my eye. You know how I love the stuff that nobody can see.
And that was all Bethany. I want to make sure everyone realizes that.
Definitely. And we met her, I met her at the Arvada Historical Society event, so that was lovely. Whereas drinking water is a vital resource essential to the health, safety, and well-being of our Arvada community, and whereas the City of Arvada is committed to providing high-quality drinking water to protect public health, aid in fire protection, and support our economy and quality of life. And whereas we recognize the importance of protecting our water sources, investing in water infrastructure, and bringing awareness to the public about the value of water. And whereas National Drinking Water Week provides an opportunity to highlight the critical role water plays in our daily lives and thank the dedicated individuals who help ensure our water is safe and reliable. And whereas Colorado and the greater Denver metro region face ongoing drought conditions that underscore the urgency of responsible water stewardship, and whereas the City of Arvada has implemented watering restrictions to preserve our shared water supply and protect the long-term reliability of water service for all residents. And whereas every Arvada resident has a role to play in conserving our water supply through wise outdoor watering practices and a commitment to only using what is needed. And whereas the investments of our community the investments our community makes today in water conservation will help safeguard the health, vitality, and resilience of Arvada for the future. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed that the Mayor and the Arvada City Council hereby designate May 3 through 9, 2026 as Drinking Water Week and encourage all residents, businesses, and organizations to continue their commitment to conserving water and learning about their drinking water. Dated this 5th day of May 2026. Thank you. Come on over for a phone, everybody.
All right. Finally, Councilmember Pfeiffer, you have Affordable Housing Month proclamation.
Yeah, Sam Bradley. Here. Okay, hi, Sam. All right. I was going to give you a choice, but I guess I can't since it follows suit with everyone else. Did you want to speak first, or do you want me to do the proclamation first?
I suppose I'll speak first.
Yeah, why go different?
Sure. Hi, I'm Sam Bradley. I'm the Affordable Housing Development Specialist from the Housing Division. My comments are quite short. Just want to give a quick thank you to City Council for declaring May as National Affordable Housing Month and for their ongoing support in the Housing Division's initiatives. Housing continues to do its work to implement our strategic housing plan, which was adopted in 2024. And I just want to highlight two important wins. First is that we met our Prop 123 baseline commitment early. And the second is the successful deployment of the Arvada Affordable Housing Funds for the construction of 4 new properties. I would also like to give a special shout out to the Housing Advisory Committee for their work and their feedback in all of our housing initiatives.
Thanks, Sam. All right, we have a proclamation. Whereas access to affordable housing is critical to the overall well-being of all individuals and local businesses, and yet many Arvadans struggle to find an affordable home. And whereas the City of Arvada has felt the negative impacts of the ongoing housing crisis due to the lack of less expensive housing options for workers, seniors, and other residents requiring support, and whereas the city recognizes the long-term detriments to individuals and businesses within the community, and seek to address housing challenges through strategic interventions outlined in the Arvada Housing Strategic Plan to encourage the development and preservation of a wide range of housing options. And whereas the city has demonstrated success in addressing housing needs by becoming one of the first communities to commit to Proposition 123, pledging to increase its affordable housing supply by 9% over 3 years, a commitment it has met and exceeded. And whereas the city, in partnership with the Arvada Housing Authority, has supported housing initiatives through grants, low-interest loans, special limited partnerships, housing vouchers, and land donation for projects throughout the city, resulted in the construction and rehabilitation of more than 725 housing units over the last 5 years. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed by the Mayor and the Arvada City Council hereby designated the month of May 2026 as Affordable Housing Month, and call upon our community to support affordable housing solutions and to recognize the efforts of the city, the Arvada Housing Authority, and its partners in improving access to affordable housing in Arvada, dated the 5th of May 2026, signed by the Mayor and all of Council.
Oh my gosh, I know. All right, that's actually all the proclamations we have, everybody. Thank you so much for everybody who came for those. Next, we have a presentation by the Arts and Culture Commission. I believe Ms. Burton with Commission members Kimberly Wagner and Tori Fink are here. Welcome.
Hello, my name is Tori Fink. I'm the co-vice chair of the Arts and Culture Commission. Our chair had planned to be here, but she had a family emergency. She couldn't make it, so I will do the best to read off all of our notes here, combined notes here. So the commission, we're all volunteer commission, and aided by our city rep, Adele Burton, public art manager and special events manager. So some of our goals for the commission are to make places that deepen community attachment, invest in the future of arts and culture in Arvada, create a diversity of arts and experiences for all, and make a home for artists and creative industry. Some of the highlights, we're going to highlight some of the things we've accomplished and then some of our plans for the future. A big part of our role is maintaining the public art that we do have. So maintaining public art, refreshing murals, adding new murals, and doing repairs on art is a big part of what we do. Old Town's kind of become a kind of artistic hub for us, so we've done a lot of projects in Old Town. We've painted 4 electrical boxes, done 3 ground murals, and let's see, the Denver Beer Co. mural. We've worked to develop mural funding for artists, and we're working on the Old Town revitalization this next year. Our short story machine is a machine, if people aren't familiar with it, it's a machine that dispenses pre-written short stories to the public. It's a little machine that kind of travels around to different public spaces. And one of the things we're doing for this coming year is we're going to update it with community stories freshly written for the 250th and 150th anniversaries. So we'll have stories written by community members about anything from their growing up in Arvada or Colorado in general. And so those will be a nice community development for the short story dispensary machine. This is some of the locations we've had it at, and it's with Adele's help, we got it booked through into 2027. So it's a popular item, and people would love to get the stories printed out. Murals are a big part of what we do. So some of the murals we've listed here. When we helped change the code for murals. So starting in 2020, we started with Babe Walls, which is a community mural artists collective, and We're going to be working with them again in the future to help develop more murals in the greater area. These are some examples specifically of some of the murals we've done in just the past year. Interconnection by David Swartz is one. This became when one of our members found this location. It was just a blank building. And we collaborated with Majestic View to develop kind of a theme for the art they wanted on the building. They wanted to incorporate the ecological environment into this mural. And so we found the artist and helped pick the design for what would go on the building. And everyone really loves it. So another one here is A Place for James, the Layden Rock mural. This came from a community member who pointed out this site as a location for a potential mural. So it's nice to beautify some of these kind of concrete blocks that exist in some of our pathways. So this was one of those examples of beautifying the trails that everyone uses a lot. So to have art incorporated into these very heavily used local venues is a great process, and people love it. One of our main goals for this year and that we've basically accomplished is a public art map. So we wanted to develop a map that points out where these public art installations exist so that people can make a trip to visit them or just to see them in one spot. In the future, we're going to work on having a printable physical version of the map that we can hand out at events. And so, excuse me while I adjust my notes. Okay. Squiggle's kind of the unofficial mascot of Arvada here. Let's see, where am I? Okay. Okay. So this is some examples of where we have art placed on the map. So some of our goals for 2026, to establish the printed version of that map. We're trying to increase our visibility at events like Winterfest and Summerfest. We've been having a table there, so one of our commission members made a small block printing machine that we have very small pieces of paper and pre-made blocks that anyone of the public can come up and print their own little print of different designs that we have pre-made. So that gives a nice hands-on thing at events to kind of make contact with the public. Jeffco Schools, we're coordinating and partnering to decorate traffic boxes through Arvada with Arvada West High School. That is in the process, and we're going to get designs from students and build wraps that cover these electrical boxes to decorate them in themes for the 250th and 150th anniversary. And then I mentioned for the story machine, we're getting submissions specifically for stories about growing up in Arvada, living in Arvada throughout the years for the 250th and 150th. Some of our goals for the next year are to commission an original sculpture for the new aquatic center. So that's a personal project of mine. I attended the ribbon cutting for the aquatic center, and it just seemed like just this pretty amazing state-of-the-art facility that really could benefit, or it would be nice to have a commissioned, fresh, new sculpture for it. So that's something we're working on, hope to have done in 2027. We plan to relocate an existing sculpture that is on the grounds of the Arvada Center. We're going to try to commission 2 more new murals, and a part of the Old Town Revitalization Project. We are going to do the decorating of electrical boxes, and what else am I missing? Oh, yes, and then there's several concrete barricades, traffic barricades in Old Town. They're just kind of big concrete blocks. So we're going to go commission artists to decorate all of those concrete blocks and just make them a little nicer and more aesthetically pleasing. So we appreciate your support and continued support. Thank you for your time.
Any questions or comments from council?
Yes.
Councilmember Levison.
Thank you so much, and thank you for the presentation, and Adele for all your leadership. So as you look at the program today, where do you see the biggest opportunity to strengthen it moving forward, or have there been any barriers that you've run into that may be limiting the impact?
Sure. So yeah, something that comes up pretty frequently is the restriction on our funding. The CIP funds is our funds are 99% CIP funds. So it puts tighter restrictions on what we can do with that funding. So we have frequently talked about a way to expand that to kind of free up some of those restrictions. Specifically, there's a 5-year restriction we have with the projects. So finding a project that can be in one spot for 5 years, we can do it, but it's a little limiting. So the CIP restrictions if something comes up pretty frequently. We've talked about potentially getting grants for specific projects, but if there was a little alleviating of the restrictions of that funding, that would free us up to do more things, I think. We also have talked about having more city staff support. So Adele does a great job with, having kind of a double duty job as is. So she does what she can, but it always helps to have more city staff help, assistance when it's possible. That's something that we have discussed, and if it was a full-time art manager kind of thing, but I know that's asking a lot, but any more assistance with staffing is beneficial, I will say.
Perfect, and I had just one more question.
Sure.
Out of all the 2026 goals, which one are you most excited about, and what support, if any, do you need to achieve it?
I think the map is a big one for us. It's just something that we can get out to the community so they know they're aware of these things, that they can kind of include them in their routes for workouts or their bike rides or walks and runs. They can have these kind of as targets to go to. So having the map has been is a really great accomplishment, I think, to help let people be aware of what we already have and what we are going to add. And yeah, I think that's. The aquatic sculpture is a personal project, so I'm pretty excited about that, and we kind of have the process rolling, and this is the first time actually we're commissioning a sculpture specifically, so it's a new process for us, so we're kind of working out that process and hopefully make it easier for the future to commission more sculptures so we can expand beyond murals and such like that.
Thank you so much, and thanks for painting a little more color through Arvada.
Yeah, thank you.
Councilmember Davis. You're not done, sir. Sorry.
Thank you for the presentation, and thank you for getting all of these beautiful murals all through the city. When I'm running and I run into these, I take a picture, and I'm just try to let people know that we're getting a lot of colorful art in Arvada. For the longest time, we were not, we were just blank walls. And so just seeing these, and I'm like, I know where that is. It's very exciting. I'm just wondering, is the Arts and Culture Commission, are you coordinating or partnering with other committees? Like APAC puts out a trails map, ASAC in terms of paints that are being used to make sure that they're environmentally safe, and maybe even with transportation and the bike committee, because I know they put on a biking map, and maybe you could overlay or underlay these features too. I think that would be very exciting.
That's a great idea. Yeah, we have had some interactions. I've met with the Sustainability Committee myself to talk about potentially having a project that could help educate people on recycling and sustainability. But I think those are great ideas. We'll definitely look into more coordinating and overlapping of those resources and getting.
Right. Great. And
I was just going to say, APAC has also requested assistance kind of using our public art map for the trails, because I know they want it to look a little friendlier and use kind of the story map version of GIS. So we're working to help them with that too.
Great. That makes so much sense, especially for wayfinding throughout the city as well. QR codes are on some of these murals have been amazing. So keep up with the QR codes as well. And then have you considered partnering with local businesses or AIDA and getting some funding to you know, it's not going to be full funding, but maybe some seed funding for some of your projects.
That's a great idea. I don't think we've really
I'm an
looked
idea
into
girl,
it.
baby.
Yeah. We've talked about grants mostly, but
Right.
We're working on like a citywide mural program where we can actually assist businesses with their murals instead of them giving money to us to do murals. But we have not started a connection with AIDA in terms of funding in that way at all.
Okay. It's just an idea, I think, that maybe if there could be a little bit of seed money to get some artists interested in being in Arvada. But thank you so much. I'm very excited about this project.
Mayor Pro Tem Mormon.
Thank you for the presentation and all the work that your commission does. Really appreciate that. I recently met with some artists from Bird Nest Art Gallery, and they're expressing the need that they're going to have to move and find a new location, and that I think we're one of the few cities in the metro areas, I understand, that doesn't have a space for artists to go and create, you know, in that space, like a maker space or open studio. Is the commission focusing on that and trying to help come up with some solutions for that?
yeah, is definitely a part of our conversation because of Bird's Nest. One of our commission members is a member there, and so it's been a conversation, and you know, that would maybe be something else that we would need help with, the public-wise, in terms of having a space like that. So people have mentioned kind of some of the older buildings that are not being used, the school that is no longer being used. What's that? ECA. Yeah. So we were kind of brainstorming where that could happen. And so it's, you know, this physical space is kind of the challenge, and we're kind of a smallish commission to where we couldn't necessarily purchase a building outright, or potentially we could help fund renting a space. It's definitely been come up because of the Bird Nest, and we're kind of brainstorming ideas. So any ideas are welcome.
Well, great, and vice versa. I think, you know, I think as, you know, as a commission of the city, we would appreciate, you know, your input to us as the policymakers about what solutions we might want to be exploring there. So
For sure.
I'd love to have more conversation around that.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
Well, I see no additional lights, so I just want to say thank you again for this great presentation, for all the hard work. Art is a huge value of mine, as I know it is everyone else up here. I was a theater kid, and I was a studio art minor in college, so I absolutely love seeing all the beauty brought to our city across all the different elements of our city. A makerspace, I know this has been an idea that's been tossed around in a lot of different forums. May be worth continuing to pursue those conversations as they are appropriate, and to members of the public, if you have ideas, you are welcome to come forward too. But thank you so much for this, for all the excellent work, and I really look forward to seeing the new murals and the new sculpture later this year.
Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Ms. Burton, thank you as well. We always appreciate all the hard work you do with our committees. All right, so that is the presentation this evening. Next, I am going to move us into the public comment portion of this evening's agenda. We have quite a few signups tonight, so I'll just go ahead and lay some quick ground rules. We always ask that people address us. Please don't address other members of the gallery or try to talk to the people at home. This is your opportunity to address us, your policymakers. We always request that you be mindful of the time limit. We do have it right up here so that you'll be able to see it. And don't make me gavel you down. I hate doing that. Please don't make me do that. And otherwise, your name and address when you get to the microphone, just for the public record. And I sincerely apologize if I mispronounced your name. I'll go ahead and begin with Renee Azerbaji.
I have letters for.
All right.
Hi, I'm Renee Azerbegi, the GEOS Sustainability Chair, and with me is Darlan, who's also on the committee with me, and resident. We're both residents of the GEOS community. If you're not familiar with the GEOS community, it is a sustainable solar, active and passive solar community in Arvada. So on behalf of the GEOS Sustainability Committee, we are writing to express our strong support for the adoption and implementation of the City of Arvada's Climate and Sustainability Action Plan, KSAP. We believe this plan represents a critical and timely step towards responsibly stewarding Arvada's resources while strengthening economic resilience, environmental health, and overall community well-being, both now and for future generations. Adoption of the KSAP also positions Arvada as a forward-looking leader and a collaborative partner in regional climate and sustainability efforts, helping to achieve positive outcomes across the greater metro area. We are especially encouraged by the KSAP's focus on key priority areas that directly affect neighborhood livability and long-term sustainability, which I'm going to go through. Built environment. Our neighborhood demonstrates how passive and active solar design, energy-efficient construction, and thoughtful site planning can reduce environmental impact while enhancing quality of life. We encourage the city to promote policies and incentives that support similar sustainability practices in new developments and retrofits throughout Arvada. Land stewardship. Recent development decisions, such as the approval of the nearby RV lot along Croston Creek Path, have raised concern in our neighborhood about potential contamination impacts on air and water resources. While we recognize the complexity of development decisions, we urge the city to use the KSAP to strengthen guidelines that discourage projects with long-term environmental risks and prioritize responsible land use. Transportation. Limited walkability, inconsistent sidewalks, and a lack of nearby public transit options significantly restrict access to daily amenities in our area. We encourage the city to place greater emphasis on walkability, bikeability, and accessible public transportation, such as tools like the Walk Score, for example. Utilities. Our neighborhood has experienced frequent power outages, both planned and unplanned, which highlight the need for a more resilient energy system. We encourage the city to explore incentives for cleaner backup power solutions such as battery storage, and to continue working with Xcel to reduce the frequency and duration of outages. Additionally, as a fully solar-powered neighborhood, we strongly support policies that incentivize solar adoption, all electric homes, and solar-ready or solar-required construction options for new development. Lastly, we recommend things that we do in our neighborhood practices, such as hosting green community events, supporting community gardens, encouraging composting, and implementing xeriscaping. Thank you for your leadership and your thoughtful consideration of this important plan.
Thank you very much. Next, we have Darlon Cheng.
Dear members of the Arvada City Council, I'm Darlon Chang, an Arvada resident at 6876 Juniper Court in GEOS neighborhood. In addition to being a member of the Arvada Sustainability Advisory Committee, I'm also the Climate Action Team Lead of the Arvadans for Progressive Action. I'm here tonight to present the group's letter of support, which I've given to you as a printout, and I'll read it now. The Arvadans for Progressive Action endorse the City of Arvada's Climate and Sustainability Action Plan, or KSAP. Adopting the plan is an important step for advancing many progressive causes, especially ensuring a sustainable world for present and future generations. Rising greenhouse gas emissions from dependency on fossil fuels threatens to destabilize the climate, and with it, major pillars of modern life such as reliable food production and affordable insurance. High gas prices due to the Iran war show the clear link between fossil fuel dependency and war, and a rapid transition to clean energy would help liberate us from militarism and war. Pollution from fossil fuel emissions result in asthma and respiratory diseases that result in rising healthcare costs, and phasing out fossil fuel use would help make healthcare more affordable for all. Rising inequality due to concentration of wealth has been exacerbated by a handful of fossil fuel companies dominating the energy industry, and technology companies expanding AI fossil fuel energy use while reducing jobs. Adopting the KSAP would lay the groundwork to create new sustainability and clean energy jobs, as well as the education needed for the clean energy transition. KSAP goals align with the causes of the Arvadans for Progressive Action, and we urge City Council to unanimously vote to adopt the Climate and Sustainability Action Plan so that other city plans, such as the Comprehensive Plan, will be developed in concert with its implementation. Our members look forward to volunteering and contributing to the implementation of the KSAP and development of other city plans to advance progressive causes. Thanks for your consideration.
Thank you very much. Next, we have Judy Douglas.
Thank you. Judy Douglas, 10122 West 70th Drive, Arvada 80004. I was at the last city council meeting, and I felt like I didn't have a good opportunity to speak because I wanted to speak in favor of the housing proposal. When I found out at 10 o'clock it was going to be well after midnight, it's not in anybody's best interest for me to be driving around after sitting here for 8 hours. So I came back. I just want to make the point to you. I think it's very important to consider the workforce in Arvada as well as the homeowners in this area that's affected. My girlfriend and I did a drive down 64th from Ward Road to Highway 93. We counted 73 small businesses, 32 restaurants and takeout, 1 large assisted living, 3 big box stores and supermarkets, and 4 convenience stores with gas stations. Excluding managers and owners, most of the people that work on 64th can't afford a house. They need housing. So take you now to east of Ward Road in my neighborhood. Since I moved there, there's been a large senior residence at 72nd and Kipling and a large apartment complex. And now within a fourth of a mile from my house, there are 4 other developments. 1 completed, 1 in progress, 1 proposed, I think that's 102 units, and another that's been approved of but hasn't begun construction. So it's busy on 72nd and Oberon Road, and these are 2-lane roads. 72nd is not expected to be widened until 5 or 10 years from now. So there's a lot of traffic, and it's congested, and there's no safe walking. So I want to ask the council to please consider that everybody needs to be involved in sustaining this community, the workforce here as well as the homeowners. And we all need to share in the inconveniences. If I want to cross 72nd from my house during the week, I have to walk a block or 2 up to the traffic light at Kipling without a sidewalk in order just to cross the street. So we need to be fair in how we are developing this city and not jam it all in just to one place. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next, we have Patty Shannon.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. I'm Patty Shannon from West Arvada, and I want to discuss emergency access, evacuation capacity, and road connectivity in West Arvada. We've already discussed these principles during prior development proposals in West Arvada. Concerns were raised regarding developing an evacuation plan on West 64th Avenue. Also critical is the requirement for larger multifamily developments to include a continuous roadway connection through the site that connects to public streets on both ends. The reason for that code is simple: redundancy saves lives. Another example is rezonings now being considered in Candelas, which raise very similar concerns on an even larger scale. These properties all front onto Highway 72, and that corridor functions as the primary evacuation route, the primary commuter route, and the primary emergency access corridor for this entire portion of West Arvada. Every new development added to this corridor increases dependence on the same constrained roadway network. Highway 72 is also fundamentally limited by capacity. It's a 2-lane roadway, not a major multi-lane evacuation corridor designed to rapidly move large populations during an emergency. Highway 93, in the event of a wildfire approaching from the west, which is entirely realistic in this area, Highway 93 itself could become restricted or closed for emergency operations and public safety. We saw this happen 2 weeks ago on our way here, and West 64th Avenue slowed to a crawl as drivers were rerouted. So true evacuation redundancy requires separate and independent routes capable of functioning if one corridor becomes compromised. This area sits within the wildlife-urban interface, is known for extreme wind events, and has already experienced significant wildfire in the last 6 months. I would urge council to evaluate rezonings and proposed developments, not only as individual parcels, but as a cumulative evacuation and emergency access system. The real question is whether the overall transportation network can safely support simultaneous evacuation during a fast-moving wildfire or other emergency event in West Arvada. Public safety, emergency redundancy, and evacuation planning must remain central considerations in any rezoning and development proposals affecting West Arvada. Remember, safety first. This is not negotiable. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you. Next, we have Julie Callahan.
Hi, I'm Julie Callahan, 7070 Tabor Court, Arvada. I am here in support of what Darlon said about we support the City of Arvada's Climate and Sustainability Action Plan. I think that's really important moving forward. The future is not set. We can do certain things to make it a much brighter future. On another note, I want to say that last Wednesday there was an event in our neighborhood. There was a police presence, Arvada Police Department, and probably Jefferson County Police. I happened to be driving into the neighborhood, and I want to say they did great. They were very professional. I was driving into the parking lot as they were clearing garages, and they allowed me to call my mother-in-law to ensure that she was safe. I just want to give a shout out to that. I also want to say that I want to thank the council members who gave a strong statement regarding ICE in our neighborhoods, and I'm disappointed in the council members who did not. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have Mindy Moore.
Yes, Mindy Moore, and I live in the Twin Creek neighborhood that Julie referenced, and I also want to thank the Arvada Police Department. The suspect was actually hiding out in a garage just 2 units down from us with his weapon there, and all of our Ring cameras caught the incident, and they were very professional, and we really thank the Arvada Police for what they do for us every day. But I was greatly disappointed 2 weeks ago with the process for public testimony at the Arvada Welby Gardens hearing. 14 organized groups, all in opposition, were allowed to testify for over 2 hours, often repetitively, before anyone in support could even speak. I know several residents, such as Judy, who had to leave before even getting the opportunity to testify. So I'm glad that tonight you're planning to postpone the resolution on rules governing public meetings until more thought can be given to this. But what I really signed up to speak with is the issue of access, the limited access that has already plagued a number of infill developments in our city, and this was epitomized with the Welby Gardens property for months before that hearing. And even tonight, we've heard a lot of concerns about single access roads. Here you have a 20-acre property with just easily a dead end. And even though there was an approvable emergency access through the Morningstar property, the nearby HOA residents expressed concerns about evacuation during wildfires. And I understand the validity of those concerns, but I want to note that specifically during your February City Council meeting, neighborhood leaders from Protect Westwoods and Mr. Breeze and Ralston Valley Coalition and Mr. Rawlick, they expressed their concerns with evacuating seniors from Morningstar simultaneously with residents of the new development. At that time, Mr. Rawlick mentioned he'd researched some successful wildfire protection plans. He mentioned East Canyon Community or Loma Linda. He described those plans where adjacent developments have worked together to ensure adequate access roads during emergencies. So, as you can see from the attached picture, just for the Welby Gardens sites, there's probably several points that I've circled where additional access could be found other than just through the Morningstar parking lot. The most viable is probably in the northwest area. This goes to Violet Way, to Virgil, and just north, there's a sidewalk going right to the Ralston Creek Trail. This would allow more potential for the mixed use that those residents want. It directly could connect to the Ralston Creek Trail without having to go through Westwood's golf course. The land is owned by the HOA in that top area. There's already an easement there for utility and pedestrian access. All it would take is cooperation between the HOA and the developer, the very cooperation Mr. Rawlick proposed. Am I done?
I don't know. I don't know who's doing that, but that is unpleasant. Okay, thank you. Ms. Moore, you actually had 6 seconds remaining if you want to go ahead. I had my eye on it. It was 6 seconds, but you are entitled to your 6 seconds. Wrap your thought.
Yeah, so the HOAs want less density, more mixed use. The developers want better access. Whether it's this infill property or any others, I beg our city to really start considering, as we
6
approve
seconds.
more. Access.
All right, thank you. There's been a request that you leave the map. So,
She emailed it to us.
thank you.
Yeah.
All right, thank you very much, Ms. Moore. All right, next we have Robert Slay. Take all the time you need, Mr. Slay.
Good evening, Mayor and City Council. My name is Robert Slay. I live at 6128 Quail Court, Arvada, Colorado. I was here on April 21st. I was here until nearly 3 a.m. in the morning. And I'm here again tonight in support of the project, but not the process. What April 21 showed is that the hearing ended in a 3-3 tie. That outcome had nothing to do with the record. The record was strong. Staff found this project meets all 6 approval criteria. 5 of 6 planning commissioners agreed after a hearing that ran until nearly 11 at night. The city's own director of community and economic development confirmed on the record that the project complies with the mixed-use standard under the Land Development Code. The fire chief said that they were satisfied it was safe. What the April 21 hearing did not show was who was able to be here. The opposition arrived organized from an organization of HOAs, and they had the time to stay. Working residents, renters, young households, people who would live in this project, they were not in that room. Not because they don't have opinions, because the process doesn't make room for them. Nothing about the project has changed. West Arvada still has virtually no rental housing west of Ward Road. The Greater Arvada Chamber of Commerce has voted in support. The units are projected to serve households earning 75 to 125% of AMI, teachers, nurses, tradespeople who already work here but can't afford to live here. Skip this next part. The city's transportation system plan identifies this corridor as home to the number 2 citywide transit priority, a Long Lake to Old Town route along 64th Avenue directly past the site. The project adds the density that makes that $170 million investment worth building. I've submitted a separate written comment to council about public participation. The city of Lakewood uses a platform called Lakewood Speaks that lets residents comment on agenda items before and during meetings online asynchronously at any hour. It runs on Civic Clerk. Arvada already uses Civic Clerk. Lakewood saw an 800% increase in public comment participation after adoption. The infrastructure to do the same is already in place, and that comment is in the record. So essentially, the record hasn't changed. Staff's recommendation hasn't changed. The housing need has not changed. The contamination hasn't changed. What I hope has changed is the council's confidence that the community I heard from on April 21st was not the whole community. Please consider PeopleSpeak public engagement software, which has a special civic clerk tie-in already developed, and let's get going with better public participation. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Slay. And I can assure you we did receive your packet before. Very impressive. So.
I have pictures tonight over there.
Next, we have Todd Nicotra.
Thank you very much. For the record, I'll wait. Thank you. For the record, my name is Todd Nicotra, 5050 South Syracuse in Denver. Mayor, council members, thank you for the opportunity to speak this evening. I spent about 10 hours in these chambers about 2 weeks ago with most of you. I don't anticipate spending 10 hours here tonight. I'm here this evening to follow up on the conversation that took place in these chambers 2 weeks ago. As you know, that evening ended with a split vote on a motion to approve the CUP, meaning the motion did not pass. Earlier today, we submitted a letter to the city asking the city to reconsider the motion to approve the CUP. As stated in the letter, we are seeking the reconsideration so that we may provide new information as permitted by your rules of procedure. Mayor and council members, we heard some specific concerns and questions from you regarding the application, and we believe that new information may answer some of your questions and show you more clearly why multifamily residential use does indeed comply with the criteria required for a CUP. We have already commenced work on preparing the additional information that we think will be helpful to you in answering some of your questions. A few specific examples. Number one, mixed use. The question came up a lot at the hearing. We believe that the code is clear, and we know that there are numerous examples of 100% multifamily properties in MXS zone sites. But we also recognize council's desire to understand the feasibility of retail or commercial uses on the land. So we have commissioned a study to help answer this question. The study is one example of new information that we intend to submit. Number two, traffic. This is another subject that came up quite a bit that evening. We believe that our plan more than fully mitigates traffic concerns, and I hope that we have demonstrated our sincere commitment to working with staff to address any traffic-related concerns during the site plan process. But we also think it would be helpful to council to understand and consider traffic impacts from other potential uses on the land. We have commissioned a study to evaluate traffic not just from multifamily, but also from commercial uses. Third, coordination with our neighbor to the south. There was a lot of discussion and frankly some confusion about access and easements with the neighboring Morningstar property. We shared publicly at that hearing that we have an ongoing discussion with Morningstar and we are committed to working with them. We intend to continue to work with Morningstar in hopes of clarifying some of the confusion around access and easements. We are committed to finding a path forward for the CUP approval. I respectfully ask that you make a motion at the next council meeting, not this evening because we're down one person, for a motion to reconsider the approval of the CUP. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much. Finally, we have Andrew Johnson.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Andrew Johnson, 5050 South Syracuse Street, Denver, Colorado, 80237. I'm with Avalon Bay Communities as well, the applicant for the residential conditional use permit at the Welby Gardens site. I'm here tonight to request your action next council meeting to hold a motion for reconsideration of the motion to approve CB 26-008, an ordinance approving a conditional use permit for residential use on the Welby Gardens site. The motion to approve a conditional use permit for residential on the Welby Gardens site, which failed to pass during the April 21st, 2026 council hearing, received, of course, a 3-3 vote. We appreciate the feedback we received during that late evening, early morning, as well as the time from you and from the community that evening. In addition to our plan to present additional information for consideration in response to council commentary during that hearing, we believe a motion for reconsideration is also appropriate to supplement the record with the letters in support of our project that were received prior to the deadline of that hearing, but appear to have been inadvertently excluded from the public record and specifically the agenda packet for the April 21st meeting. Those letters included those from the Arvada Chamber of Commerce, their member organizations, and members of Arvada YIMBY, among others. Additionally, many project advocates from the Chamber of Commerce and other supporting citizens were not able to speak in person based on the early hour in the morning when we finished the hearing. With all that in mind, we ask that you make a motion next hearing to reconsider the residential conditional use permit application. Thank you for your continued consideration, and we hope to present you with additional information on this important development site in Western Arvada. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very much. Is there anyone else in chambers who would like to speak at this time? Seeing none, I will close the public comment portion of this evening's agenda and move us into the consent agenda. We have 2 items this evening, and they are R26-034, a resolution authorizing an agreement between the City of Arvada and Olson, Inc. for design services related to the Layden Road improvements in an amount not to exceed $899,738, and R26-035, a resolution accepting an annexation petition for certain land into the City of Arvada, Barber Nichols Plant Expansion Number 2, a 1.793 acre parcel of land located at 6290 West 56th Avenue in the County of Jefferson, State of Colorado, finding said petition substantially compliant with CRS 31-12-1071, and setting a petition public hearing for June 16, 2026, 6:15 p.m. for City Council to determine whether the area meets requirements of CRS 31-12-104 and 105 and is considered eligible for annexation. Councilmember Pfeiffer.
I move to approve consent agenda R26-034 and 035 to be approved.
Thank you very much. All votes are cast. That passes 6-0 with Councilmember Griffith being an excused absence. We have resolutions this evening, beginning with R26-036, a resolution authorizing an intergovernmental agreement by and between Apex Park and Recreation District and the City of Arvada for activation and operation of a disaster resource center in the event of an emergency response. Mr. Brian Wilkerson, you have this item.
Thank you, Mayor Simpson and members of council. Appreciate the opportunity to bring this intergovernmental agreement before you. This is an important part of our strategy on enhancing community resilience and emergency preparedness. Just a little bit of background. In the event of an emergency, especially an emergency of scale like the Marshall Fire, there are a number of facilities that we may need in that emergency. Temporary sheltering, for example, information center, for example, or just as importantly, the subject of this, which is really the Disaster Resource Center. Those of you who are familiar with the Marshall Fire recovery, the Disaster Resource Center was really a critical element. That Disaster Resource Center helps bring together agencies from federal, state, and local government, as well as nonprofits and other service providers who can really help those impacted by that kind of disaster get through the recovery process in a more efficient and more effective manner. Those who survived the Marshall Fire really pointed to that as a critical element. As part of the strategy that we've been developing over the past couple of years related to the city's resilience, we've been looking for a potential site for such a center should we have a fire or other kind of disaster of that scale. In working with our partners at Apex Park and Recreation District, we've identified the facility on Wadsworth, the Community Recreation Center, as a site for that. So we want to move forward with this agreement. I'll talk a little bit more about the agreement in itself, so that in that event we know where we're going to put such a center and have the arrangements in place for that. When you look at this particular IGA, it lays out very clear operational responsibilities, with the city leading the coordination and staffing and bringing together that interagency collaboration, while Apex provides the facility access and the logistical support. Very important for us to make sure that we have very organized service delivery. It helps us emphasize proactive preparedness, as it requires annual training and exercises to make sure that we're ready to stand up this type of facility and that we've smoothed out all the logistics associated with that. And again, this really reinforces the city's commitment to readiness and continuous improvement. We've also laid out the financial components of this, which is a cost-sharing arrangement with the facility. Essentially, we would reimburse Apex with 50% of the operating costs during the operation of this disaster resource center. We, in turn, would seek FEMA reimbursement for those operating costs as we look at this. And again, we feel this is a very important aspect of our disaster preparedness. So as we look at this, I think that we've created a great framework by which we can be ready in the event of this type of disaster in the community. So with that, we would recommend that the staff and Arvada team recommends that City Council approve R-26036, a resolution authorizing an intergovernmental agreement by and between Apex Park and Recreation District and the City of Arvada for the activation and operation of a disaster resource center in the event of an emergency.
Councilmember Davis.
Well, I would like to reserve the motion.
It is yours. I see no other lights. It's yours.
Oh, okay. I move that R-26-036, a resolution authorizing an intergovernmental agreement by and between Apex Park and Recreation District and the City of Arvada for the activation and operation of a disaster resource center in the event of an emergency be approved.
Thank you very much. Just a quick kudos to the team and a huge thank you as well to our partners at Apex for putting this together. This is incredibly important, and I hope we never need to use it. All right, with that passes 6-0, with Councilmember Griffith being an excused absence. The next item on this evening's agenda is R-26-009, a resolution repealing the current City Council rules and procedures governing meetings and adopting City Council bylaws. Ms. Morris.
Thank you, Your Honor. So, Council, as you've already heard from certain members of the community today, there's a lot of concern following the Welby Gardens hearing about time pooling specifically, but public comment procedures in general. And to be clear, the city team shares those concerns, but I want to give you some background to kind of explain how we got to where we were that night, but also our plan for proceeding forward and doing more community engagement around these council bylaws. So if you'll remember back in February when we originally brought the council bylaws to council, there was some discussion there about the potential of using time pooling as a method of assisting organized groups have a little bit more time to make a coherent argument as part of a public hearing process. So we had that in the draft rules. We had an HOA reach out to us in advance of the Welby Gardens public hearing and ask if they could utilize that provision. Although it wasn't in place formally yet, we kind of decided, you know what, this is a great opportunity to see how this process is going to work and work with the community and collaborate with members of our community who want to participate in this hearing. So we did that. However, on the day of the hearing, we got a lot more people wanting to participate in the group time pooling than we had ever expected. We got one form for group time pooling on Sunday, I believe, prior to the hearing, and then 13 additional requests for time pooling on the date of the hearing. So it was far, far in excess of what we thought we were going to receive. Given the way that it worked out that night, I think the people who've spoken today are absolutely right. We need to find a different solution. So we need to have more conversations with the public about what's going to work, what's going to be equitable, and how they want to see these processes run so that we can bring that feedback back to council and you can make a decision on the bylaws that's informed by a broader sampling of community opinions. So what we want to do now is to have council
vote tonight, move to postpone approval of the council bylaws indefinitely so that we have the time to go out and do that community engagement. We're also planning on, at Councilmember Pfeiffer's request, incorporating in there some education about the council meeting process and how people can participate and parameters of that and things like that. So to give us time to do that and then to come back to council with some of that information.
Thank you very much, Ms. Morris. So I will accept a motion to postpone. Councilmember Pfeiffer.
I'll also add that the pooling is not a new concept. In previous public hearings, we've allowed, we didn't call it pooling, but we allowed HOAs to come and represent their organization with a longer 10-minute time frame.
Correct.
It was just we were moving towards memorializing that in a formal setting.
That is absolutely
Okay.
correct.
I just want to be clear that that's not a new thing.
No,
We were
we've done
just
it-
looking
yeah.
at adding it to the rules.
We've done it a few times in the past. It ended up working out very, very differently on the night of the Welby hearing than it ever has in the past. The most
Correct.
we've usually had is one group that's asked for it. So this was a very new experience for us as a team and as a community.
Yeah. All right, I'll make the motion.
Please.
So, let me make sure. There's a lot of words in this one. Let's see, let me scroll down. I'm going to go ahead and move that Resolution 26-009, a resolution repealing the current City Council rules of procedure governing meetings and adopting City Council bylaws, be postponed indefinitely.
Thank you. If all members of council will cast their votes. Quick note that I will be strongly supporting this motion as well. I appreciate both the opportunity to have a more robust conversation with our broader community, because it does feel like we've had sort of some agitation around this issue from very interested groups, but the broader public deserves to be able to know. And frankly, there's just more opportunity for council ourselves to be able to hash it out and have a better conversation around it. Councilmember Davis.
Yes, thank you. And thank you for that explanation. I'm hoping that maybe we would, this is being postponed indefinitely, but we might get some regular updates to what's going on and how the public engagement is occurring and how successful it is.
Yeah, great suggestion, and I'll make sure I do that.
All right, thank you very much. And with that, all votes are cast. That passes 6-0 with Councilmember Griffith being an excused absence. We have one first reading this evening. Mayor Pro Tem Mormon.
Thank you, Mayor. I move that CB 26-017, an ordinance rezoning certain land within the city of Arvada, lots 1, 2, 3, and 4, block 1 of Candelas 93-72, South filing number 1 from City of Arvada PUD BP, planned unit development to City of Arvada CG, commercial general, and amending the official zoning maps of the City of Arvada, Colorado, a parcel of land generally located at the southeast corner of State Highway 93 and State Highway 72 be approved on first reading, order published in full, and a public hearing set for June 16, 2026 at 6:15 p.m.
All votes are cast. That passes 6-0 with Councilmember Griffith being an excused absence. We have one other item this evening, and that is the motion to cancel the June 2nd, 2026 City Council business meeting. Councilmember Pfeiffer.
I'll go ahead and make the motion to cancel the June 2nd, 2026 council meeting.
All right. All votes are cast. That passes 6-0 with Councilmember Griffith being an excused absence. Finally, I will open the public hearing of this evening's agenda, and we have CB 26-016, an ordinance repealing, retitling, and reenacting Chapter 94, Article 2, construction and repair of sidewalks, etc., of the Arvada City Code Ordinance Number 4932. Mr. Lisberg, you have this item.
Thank you, Mayor. Excuse me. Thank you, Mayor and council members, for your time this evening. Staff is proposing updates to Chapter 94, Article 2 of the City Code. This article was last updated in 2012 and is the primary code for the previously named 50/50 program. In response to council's request, the city team has been working on an updated program under the name of Sidewalk Assistance Program, with council workshops in August 2024 and October 2025 covering program goals, policy, structure, and financial approach. City council feedback has been received and incorporated, and this updated sidewalk assistance program will be ready to start taking applications on June 1st with $300,000 committed for 2026. With the proposed program, households at or below 80% of the current Denver Metro HUD income limits would be eligible for 100% financial assistance for replacement of deteriorated sidewalks along their frontage. that are failing. Households above 80% threshold will be eligible for participation with 50% financial assistance available. I'll now briefly summarize the key revisions within Chapter 94, Article 2 by section. First, a new definition section has been added with key terms used throughout this article. I would like to take a moment to just highlight that a typo was discovered within the packets delivered to you today and has since been corrected. Underneath the Denver Metro HUD income limits definition, you will see the term medium that has been corrected to median. The section titled Duty to Maintain, Repair, and Reconstruct has been revised to provide clarity and conciseness around the property owner's responsibility for curbs, gutters, and sidewalk infrastructure. The official grade section has also been revised, requiring curb, gutter, and sidewalk to be reconstructed, and repaired at the city's adopted official grade. It also preserves the city engineer's discretion to allow reconstruction or repair at the existing grade when strict compliance would not be practical or consistent with surrounding conditions. The notice to reconstruct or repair section was revised, condensing 3 previous sections into one, outlining the city manager authority to provide property owners notice of necessary repairs or reconstruction, the contents of said notice, the property owner's ability to request a hearing, and lastly, the effects of noncompliance with said notice. A financial assistance section has been added that shall replace the previous cost-sharing section, which outlines the financial assistance previously outlined within this conversation. This section also defines eligibility criteria as well as actions to be taken should a city project be upcoming that is set to replace the subject sidewalk already. The added notice of completion and payment clarifies that when work is completed by and under the direction of the city, the property owner receive notice of the total cost and payment options. Owners may pay in full or in up to 12 interest-free monthly installments. The agent of property owner section remains intact as previously written, and lastly, a violation and penalty section has been added outlining requirements for compliance with repair notices. In closing, these proposed ordinance revisions update Chapter 94, Article 2 to align the city code with the Sidewalk Repair Assistance Program while preserving the city's existing process for enforcement, notice, hearings, assessment, and payment framework. The Arvada team recommends that City Council approve CB 26-016, an ordinance repealing, retitling, and reenacting Chapter 94, Article 2, construction and repair of sidewalks, etc., of the Arvada City Code.
Thank you very much. Is there any member of the public here this evening who would like to speak on this item? Seeing none, I will close the public comment portion or the testimony portion of this evening's hearing. Mayor Pro Tem Mormon.
I would like to reserve the motion. I have no questions, so I will wait, and then I do have a comment.
Sounds good. Councilmember Levisone, you have a question?
Yes, just one question. From what I understand, most repairs can range anywhere from a few $100s for minor fixes to several thousands of dollars. Do we have an average or typical cost per project to better understand what residents might be facing?
I'm happy to throw some numbers in response to that question. The need on a per property basis will obviously vary, but for a little bit of facts here, last year we did random sampling throughout the city and found that 75 feet was the median property frontage width throughout the city, and the replacement value we estimate for the sidewalk being approximately $12,000 to $18,000 on a per property basis for the total frontage. As far as our estimates relative to our budget here of $300,000 in our first year, we are estimating that it'll allow us to cover over 1,200 linear feet of sidewalk, and if you're assuming, say, 2 stones per property, we could help out 120 households.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
All right, Mayor Pro Tem Mormon, you have the motion.
Thank you. I actually do have a question now, so I'll ask before I make my motion, if that's all right, Mayor. So following up on Councilmember Levison's question, I'm guessing that we may be in a situation where the demand will be greater than what we can supply with this assistance for, on a yearly basis. If that occurs, will we go into a wait list? How will those applications be handled when we reach our limit of what we can spend in a year?
Understood. Our application window will always remain open. Once we collect a sufficient number of applications to have certain scale to go out to construction, we will do so, but still continuing to take on applications. They will be handled on a first-come, first-served basis, and we will always be lining them up in the queue and engaging with those customers.
So if you put an application in, you're in the queue, and you may have to wait, but you don't have to reapply, is what I'm hearing. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay, fantastic. All right, with that, I will make the motion. I move CB 26-016, an ordinance repealing, retitling, and reenacting Chapter 94, Article 2, Construction and Repair of Sidewalks, etc., of the Arvada City Code be approved on final reading numbered 4932 and order published by title only. And my comment to this is thank you to the team for all your work on this. This is a very popular program and high in demand, I will say. I've heard from a lot of residents about the desire for this program to come back. And I really also appreciate the staff working with council. I know, as you mentioned, there's been 2 prior workshops on this. And I think we, had suggested maybe a little different direction than where staff was going. And so I really, really appreciate the responsiveness to that and being able for us now to have a program that's both going to address those that are in greater financial need and providing that 100%, but also doing the 50-50 for the remainder of our residents. So thank you for working with that.
Absolutely. I still need your vote, Mayor Pro Tem Mormon. There we go. I echo the thanks. I know this is one we've been talking about for a couple of years on how it looks, how do we bring it back. I'm thrilled to see it back, and it's very exciting. So with that passes 6-0 with Councilmember Griffith being an excused absence. I will close the public hearing on this evening's agenda and open the 5-minute public comment. Is there anyone in chambers who would like to give public comment at this time? Seeing none, I will close the public comment and open it to City Council for council reports. Mayor Pro Tem Mormon.
Thank you, Mayor. I just want to give a huge shout out to the Arvada Center and their production of Come From Away. Wow, that's all I have to say. It was phenomenal. I saw it this weekend. I think it's one of the best productions I've seen in the Denver metro area of late. And my husband and I are quite big theater goers. So I was just really blown away by the quality of the production. The acting was phenomenal and how they go back in between a number of different characters and you don't even know that they're doing it. It's just really a wonderful production. And then the message, of course, of the production was just so needed at this time to think about how, as a community, we should be welcoming of others. And, this occurred at a time of significant national crisis. But I think today we are having many different crises that we're having to deal with and how important it is for us to be thinking about welcoming of others, and that was such an important message to this musical. So I encourage, you've got 1 week left, so if you haven't seen it, go get your tickets. You may be sitting alone because it was a packed house when I saw it, and I've been hearing it's been packed in most other performances, but if you can, go see it.
I'll echo that. It was a phenomenal production. Councilmember Ambrose.
Thank you, Mayor. I just wanted to thank Councilmember Davis and Councilmember Warren for coming out to the Bulldog Bustle. That was this past Saturday to support a booster for the cross-country team at Arvada High School. And we ran down the big hill next to the Dairy Queen, Old Wadsworth, and then I walked back up that hill because I didn't run back up it, but that was part of the fun run. So thanks to all the community members who came out for the high school in support of Arvada High. That was awesome. And they have a disco show choir now, which I did not know about. They were doing Uptown Funk, but they were making all the noises of the instruments with just their voices. It was amazing. So just amazing stuff that our schools are doing. Really so proud of our community support. And also Old Town Second Saturdays are starting back up. First one is May 9th, and I will be there serving beverages for the Kiwanis. So I'd love to see everybody in the community turn out for that. That's all I have.
Councilmember Davis.
Thank you. Yes, the Bulldog Bustle was a lot of fun. If you go out on my Facebook page, you'll see the very happy finishers as they came in under the Bulldog. So take a look at that. I wanted to invite people to the Arvada Historical Society's Allen House Open House on Saturday, June 13th from 11 to 2, and that is over by Arvada West High School. Thank you to the city for allowing and working with the Arvada Historical Society to get that project off the ground, and we are moving and grooving, and we certainly do want the city team to come and be a part of that open house. Speaking of the Arvada Center, they currently have a wonderful, very informational exhibit on Rocky Flats. So for those of you who have not been in the community for very long, or for some of us who've actually been out at Rocky Flats or worked at Rocky Flats, it is a comprehensive exhibit, and I would encourage everybody to attend. So thank you so much.
Councilmember Levison.
Thank you so much. So I'm excited to mention that there will be some street sealing and a little bit of a facelift in Old Town. We'll see that between second Saturdays. Thank you to staff for coordinating that for the bid. It'll be May 11th to roughly May 16th, weather permitting, so everyone do a little bit of a rain dance. I would say that it doesn't rain during those days, as we're asking a lot of businesses, and the city will be helping to remove some of the parklets. I had the pleasure of connecting with businesses with Jean from Visit Arvada, along with my toddler and her tricycle, and we had quite a bit of fun connecting with businesses and just making sure they know what's going on. So thank you to all that are involved in the project. I know it's been on the list for a while, so thank you for making that happen.
Thank you. I have a few quick items as well. Earlier this past week, Councilmember Levison and I joined Jean from the Visitor Center to give a tour to the representatives from the Downtown Denver Partnership. They are a bit jealous of some of the things we've done in Old Town and how we've activated that space, and so we walked them through and explained some of the things that we've done there and hopefully inspired some ideas. In addition, congratulations to Arvada High and A West, both for their career hubs. We did the Arvada High Career Hub opening last week, and it was really inspirational, the work that's gone into that. This upcoming Saturday, in addition to it being second Saturdays, thank you for that reminder, everybody come out for that, but May 9th, the Arvada Police Department has an event where they will install a free vehicle tracker for members of the community, particularly those who have a commonly stolen vehicle. That information is available online, the city's social media. I just included it in my newsletter. So if you drive like a Hyundai Sonata or one of those that tends to be a fairly popularly boosted car, that you may want to look into this one. And we do not track your car. This is for you. We will install a tracker for you to be able to track your car. The Chamber Awards are supposed to be tomorrow. We'll see with the weather. However, I just want to give a huge congratulations to all the winners. Andrew Hiesecker, who is our Man of the Year, Jan Eckert, our Woman of the Year, all of our Image Award winners, and especially our young class president from Arvada High, who is the Young Entrepreneur Rising Star. And then happy Mother's Day, everybody, for Sunday. The snow is here just to remind us this is Colorado and you do not plant before Mother's Day. Mr. Wick.
Thank you, Mayor. Just two things. Next week, we have two workshops. One is on wildfire mitigation and response strategies, and the other is on the 2027 water, wastewater, stormwater rates and fees. So we look forward to seeing you next week.
Excellent. Ms. Morris?
Nothing from me, Your Honor.
All right, we're out in time for margaritas, everybody. We are adjourned.